You know, in the world of music, there are some debates that just never seem to die. And one of the biggest, most passionate ones happens right in the DJ booth. We're talking milk crates versus waveforms, a real clash of art versus technology, and this constant battle over what it even means to be a real DJ.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard this one before, right? It's a powerful statement, a line drawn in the sand. Over here, you've got the purists with their turntables and their heavy crates of wax. And over there, you've got the modern digital artist with a laptop that holds a universe of music. Okay, so beyond all the heated form arguments and the gatekeeping, what's the real story? Has technology actually changed the game for the better or for the worse? We're going to dig in and get to the bottom of this by looking at what the actual research tells us. And here's the thing. At its heart, this isn't just about music. It's so much bigger than that. This is a classic story of human-computer interaction. It's all about how we, as creative people, deal with new tools, how we adapt to them, sometimes resist them, and ultimately, how we make them part of our craft. And honestly, there's no better case study than the DJ. In our guide for this whole deep dive, you couldn't ask for a better one. Meet Dr. Ronnie Rodas. Now, he's not just some scholar who researched this for his PhD. He is a veteran DJ who has actually lived this evolution. He's been in the trenches, spinning in the intense nightlife of Seattle, New York City, and Florida. So he's got one foot firmly in academia and the other right in the DJ booth. So to really understand this debate, we've got to rewind. We have to go back to the very beginning, before laptops, before even CDs, back to the analog foundation. A time when the craft of DJing was defined by a very specific and very physical set of skills. And man, the journey has been fast. Back in the 70s, it was simple. 2 turntables and crates of vinyl so heavy you'd throw your back out. Then bam, the 90s hit and CDJs brought digital into the booth, and that's when you heard the first whispers about cheating. The 2000s gave us this amazing hybrid, digital vinyl systems like Serato, letting you control digital files with the feel of a real record. And today, well, all-in-one controllers and software are pretty much the standard. Every single step brought new creative doors, but also new arguments. So, all this new technology leads us right to the heart of the conflict, the great digital debate. It really boils down to this fundamental disagreement about what skill even is. Is it the physical mastery of the machine with your own 2 hands? Or is it the creative vision that the software helps you unlock? So let's break it down. On one side, you've got the purist. They're saying the real skill is in the physical work, training your ear for hours to beat match perfectly, the dedication you show by hauling around 50 pounds of records. But then, on the other side, you have the pragmatists. They argue the real skill was always about something bigger, reading a crowd and knowing the perfect song for that exact moment. For them, technology isn't a shortcut. It's a tool that frees them up to be more creative. To really get the purist's view, you have to understand this concept called subcultural capital. Basically, it's the currency of cool, street cred. For decades, DJs earned that cred by mastering the tough art of turntablism and by digging through dusty crates for those ultra-rare records. It was a badge of honor. And digital tech? It threatened to make all that hard-earned capital worthless. And that brings us to maybe the most controversial, most hated button in music history, the sync button. This quote, taken straight from the community, just shows you how high the stakes feel. That one little button, the one that automatically matches the tempo of 2 songs, became the ultimate symbol of this whole culture war. It was the line in the sand between real DJs and, well, everyone else. All right, enough about the arguments. Let's get real. What's actually happening out there when you analyze the industry? Well, that's exactly what Dr. Rodas did. He went through articles, forums, and tutorials to see what the data really says. And this first finding is just fascinating. When you actually look at how people define a real DJ, it turns out those super loud voices, the vinyl purists, are actually a minority. The biggest group by far holds what you'd call a hybrid or a pluralist view. They believe authenticity comes in all shapes and sizes, whether it's on vinyl, on a laptop, or a mix of both. Okay, so what about that infamous sync button? Is it cheating or is it a tool? Well, the data here is really clear. While a good chunk of people still call it cheating, the largest group sees it as a tool, something that's okay to use in certain situations, like when you're juggling 3 or 4 tracks at once or really need to focus on your performance. It's not a free pass, but it's not a cardinal sin either. Now this slide right here might be the most important one of them all, because we're moving past opinions now. This is about what working DJs, the ones in the clubs, at the festivals, are actually using. And the answer is just overwhelming. Hybrid setups are absolutely dominant. Pros are mixing and matching the best of both worlds, using CDJs with laptops or timecode vinyl with digital libraries. The purely vinyl setup, it's now the exception, not the rule.
So the takeaway here is just crystal clear. The debate might rage on forever online, but in the real world, in practice, the war is over. Hybrid workflows have won. The modern professional DJ needs to be versatile, fluent in the old ways and the new. Okay, so what does this all mean for you, for the DJ of today and tomorrow? If hybrid is king, how do you get ready to rule? Well, the research actually gives us a really clear roadmap. The path to true mastery today isn't about picking a side. It's about building a bridge. First, you have to respect the history. You need to understand why manual beat matching was so important. It teaches you rhythm and structure. Second, you've got to train your ear. Even with all the visual aids in the world, nothing beats the foundational skill of really listening. And finally, you have to master the tech. Get fluent with the modern tools so you can walk into any booth, anywhere, and absolutely kill it. Which leaves us with this final thought. The research seems to suggest the answer isn't either or. The real art seems to be in this new space, a space where a deep respect for the old craft is what fuels the incredible creative potential of the new tools. It's not vinyl versus digital anymore. It's about the artist who can master both.